All right, if you're an AI developer, you know this feeling. You've built an incredible prototype, a proof of concept that just wows everyone. But then the hard part hits. How do you turn that spark of genius into a robust, scalable, production-ready application? Well, today we're going to explore a platform designed to solve exactly that problem, Dify. Let's dive in. Because let's be real, we all know the truth, don't we? A killer prompt gets you started, for sure. But it's just the very first step on a very, very long road. The journey from a simple script to a real-world product that users can actually depend on, well, it's filled with hurdles. It's a journey from a cool demo to a truly complex system. And look, this is the reality for so many of us builders. You find yourself tangled up in this web of complexity. You're stitching together all these different libraries, trying to figure out how to manage and scale vector databases, and, oh man, trying to debug those frustratingly opaque agent loops. And all the while, you've got to worry about scaling for actual users and making sure everything is secure and compliant. Honestly, it's a massive headache. Okay, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. We've just touched on the AI builder's dilemma. Next up, we'll formally introduce Dify as the solution. Then we'll take a tour of its core engine, see where it fits in with other tools, and finally, look at how you can actually deploy, customize, and scale your apps with it. Right, so just to put a pin in the problem we're solving here, it's that giant chasm between the exciting, flashy proof of concept and the much, much more complicated reality of a production application. It's a trap where so many great ideas get stuck, just unable to handle the demands of the real world. And this is where Dify comes into the picture. It positions itself as an all-in-one platform designed from the ground up to manage the entire lifecycle of an AI application, from that first idea all the way to the final deployed product. So what is it exactly? Dify isn't just another library or some single-purpose tool. It's an integrated low-code platform. And that low-code part, it just means you're using visual tools to build, not just writing endless lines of code. The whole goal is to give you all the pieces you need, from workflows to deployment, all in one place, saving you from that nightmare of stitching together a dozen different services. Okay, that sounds good, but how does it actually work? Well, Dify is built on what you can think of as 3 core pillars. Let's take a quick tour of each one to really see what makes this platform tick. First up, workflows. This is really the heart of the creation process. Instead of coding your agent's logic line by line, Dify gives you a visual canvas. You can literally drag and drop nodes, connect them to map out the flow, and build complex multi-step logic, agent behaviors, and tool calls in a way that's just so much easier to understand and debug. The whole point is to make that orchestration visible and reliable. Okay, pillar number 2 is knowledge, because any great AI has to be grounded in specific factual data, right? So Dify includes a built-in retrieval augmented generation engine, RAG, right out of the box. You can upload your documents or connect to data sources, and Dify handles all the complex embedding and retrieval work for you. And what's super cool here is its support for multimodal retrieval, which means it can understand and work with both text and images. And that brings us to the third pillar, its ecosystem. See, Dify wasn't designed to be a closed box. It's meant to be open and extensible. It has a plugin marketplace where you can add new capabilities, like connecting to different tools or data sources. It also has a template center, which lets the community share and reuse powerful workflows, which means you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. And this right here is a perfect example of how powerful that ecosystem is. The Model Provider plugin shows off Dify's flexibility. It's basically an interface that lets you plug in, pretty much any AI model you want. You are not locked into one provider. Whether it's a new open source LLM, a specific embedding model, or even a text-to-speech service, you can integrate it. This makes the platform model agnostic and really helps future-proof your work. All right, so Dify sounds pretty powerful, but let's be honest, it's not the only tool out there. To really get its value, we need to see where it fits in the whole competitive landscape. When would you choose Dify over something else? This comparison, which is based on what the community is saying, gives us a really clear picture. So if you're mostly doing integrations and automations, a tool like NN might be your go-to. For just pure experimentation with LLM logic, LangFlow is fantastic. And if you need the absolute fastest path from an idea to a simple agent, Floweyes is a great choice. But look where Dify shines, building structured production AI apps. And why is that? It's because it's the one that natively brings together that visual workflow, the RAG engine, and the deployment tools you need for a complete real-world product. And this quote from a ZenML review, it just hits the nail on the head. It really reinforces Dify's core identity as an all-in-one platform. That phrase right there, without stitching together multiple tools, that's everything. That's the exact pain point it's designed to kill, making it perfect for teams who want to build, deploy, and manage all in one place. Okay, so you've built your awesome app using workflows and the knowledge base. Fantastic. Now what? Let's get into the final and maybe the most important steps: actually deploying it, customizing it for your needs, and scaling it for your users. When it comes to deployment, you've basically got two main paths. You can self-host it using Docker. This gives you total control over your infrastructure and your data, which is perfect if you have strict data privacy rules or you need deep customization. The other option is Dify Cloud, which is their managed service. This is going to be the faster, easier option for getting started, and it's ideal for quick projects or for teams who just want to prioritize ease of use. And hey, if you do go the self-hosted route, you might be surprised at how straightforward it is. It really just boils down to these four main steps. First, you check that your system meets the minimum requirements. Then, you clone the code from the repository. Next, you run one single Docker compose command. And finally, you launch the app in your browser and finish the setup. The whole thing is designed to be accessible, even if you're not some DevOps guru. So that's the tech, but how do you actually make money with this thing? Well, a really common business model we're seeing is you host Dify yourself, and then you sell subscription access to the unique, powerful workflows you've built. Dify automatically generates APIs for them, letting you build your own product or service right on top, with Dify just running as the engine in the background. All right, so as we wrap this up, let's bring it all back home to the core idea. Dify's whole reason for existing is to bridge that critical gap. It's built to take you from a quick, exciting demo and carry you all the way across that finish line to a scalable, secure, and production-ready product that can actually handle real users. And that really brings us to the final thought here. Look, tools like Dify are making it easier and easier to create serious, production-level AI applications. The journey from idea to production is getting shorter and way less complex. So the question this leaves us with is, well, it's a pretty exciting one. With these new capabilities at your fingertips, what will you build next? Thanks for tuning in.